Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I have an Immersive Theater Act 312 clear with a full party of level 70s with no Introns and no weapon smelts. This will be the lowest investment team that I am able to put together. I also did not use the Battle Pass Geniemon, although in the quick guide I will give to each part of it, I will be using the Geniemon. Let's get into the guide now. The first thing we're going to look at is the team. This here is the complete team. I've got the Elpides Abound with X-Crest Duo on Psyche. I've got Arclight Apocalypse and Blade Amber Glow on my two supports, using Truffle and Daphne, who are the best, by far, supports for Psyche at i0. If you have i1 on Psyche, it is likely that another character will be better than Daphne, because Daphne is not very good. I find that her healing is pretty poor, and even with i1, her contribution to the team is not worth it. You'd much rather use somebody like, say, Rebecca or Tabitha, assuming that her buff applies. For the Geniemon, I'm going to use the Battle Pass one just for this guide, but in the actual run, I will be using the Shiny Dandameow. This thing gives healing and animo attack. The Demon Wedge buff that it gives is basically useless. Unlike the Battle Pass Geniemon, which gives a huge buff to your wedges, the free-to-play ones are not very good. But this does have some additional traits that I have put on it. Now, starting off with the first trial chamber, what you want to do is group up the enemies as well as you can. Now for this chamber, it's really easy. All the enemies will spawn right here. Now for this one, you also don't want to use too much sanity. You want to save it for some of the later trial chambers. Of course, I can also get away with just not using my Geniemon, because you'll get enough healing from this chamber, and you will not really need to use your sanity, so you don't have to worry about issues with your uptime of your ult. And just like that, it is done. Now remember to cancel your ult at the end of it, especially if you're using Elpides Abound. Now, for Chamber 2, all the enemies are going to spawn here in the middle, so it's nice and easy to AoE them, just like this. And as soon as the elite spawns, you want to focus down the elite as fast as you can. Killing the elite gives you 20 kills worth, so it is worth it to just single it out and focus it down. For the time it takes to kill it, it gives more than killing other enemies. Of course, AoE on this stage is pretty simple. You only need to kill 120, compared to the 160 you'll need later. Cancel the ult at the end of the wave again, and recast it at the start. Now this trial chamber is a bit trickier, because you need to know where to go. Enemies will spawn in one of two places, one being right here, and the other being on these stairs right here. It's important to know where they're spawning right away, so that you can quickly AoE them and kill them. If they spawn on the stairs on the left, then as soon as you kill a good amount of them, you need to switch to shooting over here, because more of them will spawn here. This area right here is pretty good for AoE, and as always, cancel your ult. Alright, now for Chamber 4, you have a little bit of time before you have to ult. And they'll spawn in one of, I believe, 4 places. In either entrance, here, and where they spawned right here. Now this one can be a bit tricky to AoE if you don't get the right spawns. Thankfully, Truffle will do a nice job AoEing, but as always, just focus on the elite, and you should be fine. If you don't have enough DPS, then you'll need to invest a bit more into your characters. Other than that, this isn't a very difficult chamber. You just need to learn how to AoE. With this will be the last elite that we kill. The elites ended up making up basically half of all the kills that I got. The phantoms here that spawn don't actually give you any kills, and for some reason they stick around after you kill them. Now for this fight, you want to use your ult immediately, and then save your sanity for when she goes up, and you have to break her wings. After that happens, she's going to drop down to 50% health eventually, and you're going to have to kill 50 enemies. Now if you don't kill the 50 enemies, you'll likely have to restart, because you basically lose if she does not, if you don't kill all the enemies in time. She will summon all of her tornadoes, and it will be basically over for you. Now here I got good luck. I killed the wings fast, and I got her down to 50% health without losing my ult. Of course, you need to make sure you stay with enough health and kill all of these enemies. There you go. I killed all of her summons. So now I will be able to kill her. This should be a pretty easy run now that I have all that. Of course, make sure you're not in your ult when she summons her tornadoes. Now, helix jumping is the best way to get away from the tornadoes and to move fast. Now she's plunging. This is where you just want to keep dodging. Now you just need to try not to die. Again, save your sanity in case she goes up. There you go, now she goes up. And now we spam all of our skills. And that's an easy win. It only took me like 4 tries, you know? It might sound silly, but there is actually a start over button that I did not realize existed for quite a while. So there were some times where I basically restarted all 4 of the trials, instead of just retrying that one trial that I failed on. The start over feature is pretty nice because it keeps you on the same trial instead of starting over from the start. As you can see here, I am still in the boss fight. There is one setting that will make it harder for you to play with Psyche and will actually potentially nerf your damage per second. And that, as you can see here, is aim assist. Now on mobile, it might feel like you need aim assist, but it is definitely much better to not use aim assist with Psyche specifically. Psyche is the one and only character where aim assist actually makes it worse. Now, without further ado, let's get into my Act 12 clear. The builds will be shown at the end of the video as well. Thank you all for watching and have a good one. Hopefully I'll be able to get a guide out for another character before the end of the Immortal Theatre reset. I don't know if I will be able to, because I had to spend a lot of time grinding my account just so that I could get Psyche to clear. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to be able to upgrade other characters. Seeing as Psyche is the #1 DPS, it's going to require a lot more investment into other characters to clear with them. Anyways, I hope I'll see you in my next video before the end of this Immortal Theatre season.